Hello, my dear students and the rest of the learners. Welcome to part 31 of a 53-part series of tutorials in system analysis and design. In this presentation, we shall be looking on file access methods. My name is MemGM, or you can simply call me Emily Swap. This subtopic is a continuation of the topic Understand advanced design concepts. And let's begin by looking at what we call file access. So file access method refers to the mechanism used to read, write, and retrieve records. And therefore, file access is simply being able to retrieve a record or being able to retrieve data from a file. And therefore, the way you retrieve that data is what we are calling file access method. The file access methods determine how records are retrieved once stored. The file access methods specify how a system reads or retrieves data once organized. The file access method refers to the mechanism that is used to read, write, and retrieve records. File access methods determine how records are retrieved once stored. The file access methods specify how a system reads or retrieves stored data once organized. Efficient access is critical for fast reporting, student queries, and administrative tasks. Closely related to file organization, access methods determine the speed and manner in which data can be read or updated. In other words, my dear students and the rest of the learners, it is important to note that normally the same method that was used to store the data, it is the same method that is used to retrieve the data. And therefore, file access is related to file organization. These file access methods include the serial access method, sequential access method, direct access method, or what we call the random access method. However, we can be able, or we can split the direct access method and the random access method. What is the difference between direct access method and random access method? Follow me this presentation and see the difference. Let's begin by looking at the serial access, but it's also important to note that we have another method that we call indexed. The same methods that we had in file organization in part 30 of the series, they are the same that we are having as access methods. We have the serial organization, sequential organization. We have the direct or random organization, and we have the indexed organization. And therefore, when it comes to accessing the data, if the data was stored serially, you access it serially. If the data was stored sequentially, you access it sequentially. If we use direct access or direct organization method to write, you can use the same to read. And then if you use the index or a key to access the data, you use the key. If you use the key to store the data, you use the key to access the data. So selecting the appropriate access method ensures operational efficiency, fast retrieval, and accurate reporting, which are critical in educational administration and also in system analysis and design. Selecting the appropriate access method ensures operational efficiency, fast retrieval, and accurate reporting, which are critical in system analysis and design. And if it is in administration, the same would be very important because the data that is accessed is used for decision making. For example, in an education administration. For instance, using sequential access, an examination office may print an entire class's results in order of student IDs. Conversely, a bursary retrieving one student's tuition payment uses direct access keyed on the student ID eliminating unnecessary scans. Effective implementation of access methods is particularly important when handling large datasets, such as enrollment, performance, and financial records. These are examples in an educational organization or institution. And therefore, you can use sequential access, direct or random access, to be able to retrieve any given record. In this diagram, you can see that we have both sequential access and direct or random access feed into record retrieval, showing two different approaches for accessing stored records. This highlights the trade-off between batch processing efficiency and rapid individual queries critical for operational planning in educational institutions. Let's begin by looking at the serial access. And my dear students and the rest of the learners, if you did go through the previous part in this series in which we talked about file organization, I would advise that you go back to that presentation, the one which is just prior to this one, so that you can be able to know how the files were stored or organized, because now we are learning how to access those files. We begin by the serial access. Serial access reads records one after another. It is suited for batch operations, but it's inefficient for individual lookups. For example, you can see you have record one. So you access first record, then you move to second record, then you move to third record, and lastly, you move to fourth record. So if you are retrieving, for example, that record, you have to pass through record one, then record two, before you access record three. Sometimes you may also be forced to look for data which is not in the media, and therefore the time is wasted searching for data which is not even existing in the first place. And therefore, those are some of the challenges in serial access. Let's now look at sequential access. In sequential access, we have retrieval of records in the order in which they were stored, but in a certain sequence. So sequential access retrieves records in order one after another from the beginning of the file. This access method is suitable for batch processing tasks such as generating class lists, printing all student reports, payrolls, fee reports, or end of day summaries where records are processed in order. My dear students and the rest of the learners, it is important for you to note that the difference between a serial and a sequential is that in serial, files are just stored in the order of arrival, and they are accessed in the same order as stored, the same way they were stored during the file storage. However, for the serial or for the sequential, you have the files having, or the records having been stored in a certain order, for example, in a sorted order, and therefore accessing that file or that record is a little bit faster. So the records are stored in a sequence that is sorted sequence, for example, by student ID. The searching involves reading records sequentially until the target is found. Therefore, access time is proportional to record possession. It can be illustrated as follows. So it's almost similar to the serial, but now these records that you can see reading record 1, record 2, record 3, record 4 are in a certain order. For example, they are sorted in ascending order from the first one to the last one, that is to record N. So the records are read sequentially from the beginning of the file, but the process is faster. In sequential access, the system must follow the arrow flow to find the desired record, as you can see. So you have to pass, if you are searching, or if the user wants to search for a record, like record 104, he or she must search from the beginning until record 4 is reached. Its main advantages are that it's simple to implement. It is ideal for batch systems. But its main disadvantage, or its main disadvantage, is that it is usually slow for random queries. Therefore, while it is inefficient for random lookups, it is suitable for batch operations like printing or student grades for a semester. It is used in magnetic tape systems and streaming data systems and useful where full dataset processing is required. For example, processing examination results for all students at the end of semester using sequential file access ensures records are processed in order. Let's now look at the direct or random access. In direct or random access, we have retrieval of record. That is, retrieval of specific record immediately, instantly, and directly using unique keys, or what we call the calculated addresses, and necessary for interactive systems or interactive lookups, such as querying individual student payment records. It allows immediate retrieval of specific records using an address or key. This method is preferred in systems requiring fast response times, such as online student portals or clerks quickly checking for a student's fee payment status in, for example, a middle-swap school institution. It can be illustrated as follows. So we have the user, the word program, then we have the key or address, for example, student ID, and then we have direct access file, that is records that have been stored anywhere with the storage media. So the record retrieval or the record is retrieved immediately using key or address. It can be simplified as follows. We have record, retrieving record by key, and then immediately you get the feedback record found. If it is there, but if it is missing, you still get a message. You get a message that it is not available. Its main advantages are that it supports random retrieval using disk blocks and is thus effective for immediate retrieval. But two, it is suitable for interactive systems such as online student portals. Number three, it is ideal for large-scale student databases where instant access is critical. However, its main disadvantage is that it requires precise key management. The choice between sequential and direct access depends on transaction frequency, concurrency requirements, and response time expectations. Let's look at index file access. In index file organization, we saw that there was the use of an index table to store, that is, locate the memory where to store the data. While for the indexed access, we still make use of an index table to be able to assist us to locate records quickly. An index contains key values and points to the physical addresses of records. This method provides very fast access and is widely used in employee databases, course databases, and student information systems. The procedure involves searching the index file for the required key, obtaining the physical address, and then reading the corresponding record from the data file. It can be illustrated as follows. So we have the application program. We have an index table which assists in accessing the records, or that is, in accessing the addresses in which the records have been stored. And therefore, once an address has been located, it becomes very easy for the data to be retrieved from that memory or from that location. So, number one, we have the search key in index file. And in number two, we have the obtaining of physical address and access a record. And with that, my dear students and the rest of the learners, we have come to the end of part 2 of the series, or part 1 of the series. You can now proceed to part 2 of the series, in which you are going to learn about system security and control measures. Congratulations for learning part 1 of the 3, on file access methods in advanced database, in advanced design concepts, in perform system analysis and design course. You can access the rest of the parts in the series as well as other computer or ICT videos by clicking or tapping on MLSwap ICT just below this video. To subscribe to the channel, tap on subscribe button below this video in YouTube if it's not currently reading as subscribed. For any further correspondence, kindly write to us through the email mlswap@gmail.com. Remember, you can access all computer or ICT videos by clicking or tapping on MLSwap ICT YouTube channel below this video. Thank you very much for listening to me. Let's meet in part 2 of the series, and God bless.